nation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes, WUB. And all the things that we happen under God blue skies. I love it that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WUB.
All right, welcome. This is WUB, Wake Up Belize, Morning Vibes on a Thursday, the 24th day of October, 2024. And we welcome you to the program this morning. I'm Nuri Mohammed in the studio, and we have an exciting show. When is it not exciting? When is it not engaging? This is the premier conversation every weekday morning here in Belize and, in fact, in our diaspora, which is far beyond Belize. We welcome you to the program. We go into first our weather update for the country of Belize, and then we'll give you our news update prepared by our news center. Today's forecaster is Mr. Tariq Matthews. Well, I don't know.
Good morning, Belize. A light and somewhat dry northerly airflow prevails. The 24-hour forecast for Belize and her coastal waters calls for sunny skies today with cloudy intervals, and high temperatures today are expected to reach 87 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 91 inland, and 77 over the mountains. Tonight, the skies will be partly cloudy, becoming cloudy at times, with low temperatures of 76 along the coast, 72 inland, and 65 in the higher elevations. A few light showers or light periods of rain will develop mainly offshore and some coastal areas this morning and tonight, Elsewhere, shower activity will be isolated. The winds will blow from the northwest at 5 to 15 knots at first, then later the winds will blow from the northeast. The sea state will be light sharp. A low tide will occur at 10:50 this morning, followed by a high at 19 minutes past 5 in the evening. Another low will occur at 9:34 tonight and a high at 4 minutes past 4 tomorrow morning. The sun rose at 5:48 and will set at 5:24. The moon will set at 12:51 this afternoon and comes up at 15 minutes past midnight. The outlook for Friday and Friday night is for cloudy spells, along with a few coastal showers and inland afternoon isolated thunderstorms. In the sargassum forecast, sargassum impacts are expected to remain minimal for the next 2 weeks, and in the tropical weather outlook for the North Atlantic, the Caribbean Sea, and the Gulf of Mexico, tropical cyclone formation is not expected over the next 48 hours. And that's your morning forecast that was prepared here at the National Meteorological Service.
The first private release since 1989. Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
The government of Belize has announced a 2-day visit of Taiwan's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Lin Chi Long. The visit is set for October 29th and 30th. While here, he is to hold a bilateral meeting with the Prime Minister John Briceño and the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Honorable Francis Fonseca. He's also set to visit the site of the proposed San Pedro General Hospital, which is being financed by Taiwan. This will be Foreign Minister Lin's first visit to Belize since President Lee Jing-Ti assumed office in May. This year, October, Belize and Taiwan mark 35 years of diplomatic relations. As the United Democratic Party saga continues, the Pantan executive of the United Democratic Party has issued a notice that the Honorable Moses Shine Barrow is not authorized to act on behalf of the United Democratic Party in any capacity. That includes soliciting or collecting funds in the name of the party. The release states that the UDP is moving forward under the new leadership of Tracy Pantan, who was overwhelmingly endorsed by the party delegates at this past weekend's Unity Convention. Pantan reported on Sunday that based on the vote of the delegates, they would move to effect their mandate. In related news, on Wednesday, former UDP Minister Anthony Boots Martinez held an anti-Shine Barrow press conference in front of the UDP headquarters on Youth for the Future Drive in Belize City. Among other things, Martinez admitted that interim leader Tracy Pantan will not be able to wrest the post of leader of the opposition from Moses Shine Barrow because of how the Constitution is set up.
That is the only resolution I think. Listen to me. I just to be fair and frank here. That is the resolution, in my view, that the party don't have no control over. And I just to be real honest, the party can. That is bigger than the party. That is for the Constitution, I believe.
So they have no control over the secretariat. That's a fact. They have no control over the secretariat, no control over the parliament.
No control over the secretariat.
No control over the headquarters. There's still Shari Medina in this.
Listen, what part?
So you have two
What
parallel
part?
organizations.
Huh?
You have two parallel entities.
I don't know what will happen. I know about one.
You know the Tracy one.
I know about what the majority of delegates decide. We
You
could.
say it's over now for Shine Barrow?
I think so. I will be honest with you. I think so. I know it's not going easy. He want to hold on to that chair like what I said. I was the first person to come and say that he sleep with the chair under a bed. And he sleep cross with the foot, the mind that chair there. I have some difficulty in terms of this party. Always having difficulty. Not much, but we always have difficulty within the party. Not care who was the leader. But one thing I know, that processes have been followed. Do you know what I question? How could you expel people without a proper process? Just like simple life. The policeman, they arrest you. The only thing they could do is not charge you and bring evidence the court. You not follow. What process did they follow?
Martinez pushed back on the claim that non-delegates voted sharing that when one becomes a delegate of the party, they obtain a certificate that is duly stamped by the headquarters. He is also of the opinion that there will have to be a contested convention for the leadership of the party. The case of 6 inmates whose parole was denied by the parole board is currently before the High Court Justice Nadine Nabi. They are being represented by attorney Leslie Mendez, who argues on their behalf that the board did not follow the law in arriving at its decision. Further submissions must be made in November.
The basis on which we are challenging it is based on judicial review as well as the Constitution.
How long ago did this case start?
We filed this case, some of them we filed it last year, and then some were filed today, because it's 6 claims before the court. They all argue the same thing, meaning that the parole board did not exercise its function appropriately, and that is what led to them being denied parole. So what we say and what the cases say, and in fact what the Caribbean Court of Justice has said, that when you're determining whether or not to grant parole, the question is whether or not the prisoner continues to pose a threat to public safety. And in this case, we're saying that the parole board did not take that, or did not answer that question, really, when it decided to deny parole.
And so the men, they're all men. They're all men. How long have they been in prison?
Oh, it's different. It's varying. It's varying.
And for what offenses?
Manslaughter, murder, and kidnapping.
So they've served their time. Obviously, that is what parole means, and they have been on good behavior, reformed in prison, and all of that.
Yeah, they have a non-parole period, right? So they have served that non-parole period. After that, your sentence, the second part of your sentence, is what we call a risk period or a security period, where you remain confined if you continue to pose a threat to public safety. It's a very specific question that must be answered by the parole board in order for them to determine whether to deny you parole.
Former UDP Port Loyola area representative Anthony Boots Martinez was pursuing a recall petition against the current area representative, Honorable Gilroy Usher. However, this was denied by the Governor General after the Elections and Boundaries Department determined that 188 signatures did not match those on record as registered voters at the department. This past weekend, Martinez told us that he is no longer pursuing that matter.
Due to the time frame, because the petition, the law says that you only go recall one time. You only could launch or recall one time during a term. 18 months after, and not less, and not 1 year before the election. You can't do it 1 year before. So having dragging out the judicial review in terms of the challenges won't come before November. November, they're right there. not make no sense.
And that's our news package for this morning, Thursday, the 24th day of October 2024. There's more news coming up at the end of the program that follows us, the Morning Stew, at 12 o'clock. There's an update at 3 o'clock and a full news broadcast at 5:15, all on CREM Radio. Here on XTV, we'll bring you the full news broadcast at 6 o'clock this evening. It's now 10 minutes to 7 o'clock. We take a short break, come back, and we'll open the phone lines to begin the conversation for this Thursday morning.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. The news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports.
First part of the program is dedicated to any issue that you would like to raise and any concern that you have. I thought it interesting to hear that report which was aired last night in the media on the connection between hair relaxers and cancer. As you know, cancer is one of those disease that is very high on our mark of death. It is the second, I understand, the second highest incidence of death in Belize. And breast cancer and women are in the highest category. And breast cancer is also a very, very, is one of those areas because you have ovarian cancer, you have other types of cancers that affect women. But breast cancer is a very important mark to show that this disease affects our female, and from a very young age. The doctor did say that the incidences are women between the age of 40 and 60. But the point that is important this morning to me that I'm bringing forward is this connection between hair relaxer, which some refer to as permanent, and cancer. And what came to mind is this old argument that we've been having for years about natural hair and whether the afro, as we used to call it, or the natural hairstyle, meaning hair without chemicals in it, or at least chemicals that fry the hair, burn the hair, is really the way to go in 2024. There was a time, and maybe this is showing our age here, where the afro or natural hairstyle became extremely popular in the 60s. It was also very popular here in Belize. There were contests about Miss Afro, and for a number of years, sisters would, express themselves through their natural hairstyle, low and sometimes not so low. The point, though, is that this permanent, which many women take for granted, and I'm glad to hear the way the report was done last night. It highlighted several women giving their experience that then use chemicals in their hair since teenage years. It's not something that older women do, but some women use it as a rite of passage. One sister said that they couldn't wait to get a chance to put the permanent in. But why? That's what came to my mind. Why? Why is it that this is more beautiful than leaving your hair natural? Is there some kind of stigma that goes with our hair being in a natural state? Certainly putting whatever in the hair, not chemicals necessarily, but softeners in the hair to make it more manageable, doesn't take away the look of natural, and it doesn't necessarily cause the hair. And I'm in a zone here that is not my area. I'm just giving a male perspective or a man's look at this whole issue, because men don't go through that issue as much as does women. Even though, if you remember, there was a wet look during the time of Michael Jackson. Welcome. They call it Jerry Curls.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Just a while, just a while.
Yeah, turn it down, please.
You know, kind of one thing where we try fix the hair better. How many Creole hair tough, you know?
Tough, you call it.
Because the Indian hair soft, the Latino hair soft, the California hair kind of soft, but the Creole people here kind of tough.
But why you use tough? I mean, why the adjective there? Tough.
Yes, tough. Well, I'm saying tough. The Creole here tough.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's why they try to put soft line there and so.
All right.
You know, nothing is wrong with that. You want committees here, you see? Then they have a thing near Dippity-Doo. Then they had a thing near where they mix in Jamaica and call it, make it look like Southern Indian. When they put it in, you know, but if you put too much lye, so you burn your fire in any kind of way, you know?
Yes.
Then they had the big afro. Now I wait for me to try to loosen the tough hair, man. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I don't know who to bring up these kind of chat.
But I mean,
But I do, you know.
all right.
But nothing is wrong with trying to get hair soft. And all I know, the only the Creole hair tough. Morning.
All right, my brother. Good. The use of the word tough normally, you know, would indicate that, you know, we have problems with it. But as I said, this is an old conversation. I mean, this is a conversation I could remember back in the 60s when we had certain noted celebrities that used to wear their hair natural. Angela Davis, some of you may have heard her name. Roberta Flack. I'm going way back into the 60s that no doubt our younger population may never have heard of these persons. But Abbey Lincoln, this was jazz musician, started with a very low, as they call it, afro at the time. But guess what was the conversation? The conversation was what created that idea that the Creole hair or the black woman's hair is tough.
Because they're born with.
All right. Okay. So if you're born with something, where God gave you naturally, what make it bad?
You know, bad.
Oh, exactly.
That's the born with, but we say with a try, make it soft.
But why? Why?
What a Creole could think about the hair? If you let it so, the comb and broke.
Ah, you touched the mark right there.
Then they had Afro pick.
Aha!
They take out the nut. They say,
Yes, my brother. Yes, my brother.
Black pepper green for rundum dresser. That means it tough. The word black pepper green for rundum dresser means that it's tough.
Look here. Look, but do you know that in those days, you know, we really, it was an indication of our self-hatred because our hair was not like the European hair.
No.
What do you mean no? I mean, we had the problem with what they call soft hair. The Indian had it. The Mestizo had it. The Maya had it.
The Mestizo hair soft.
All right.
The Indian hair soft.
But
the
what?
American hair soft.
No,
but the Belize Creole hair.
That is not.
That's out of Africa where we come from.
Yeah, but that's not my experience, my brother. What I'm trying to tell you is that in that natural state, that hair is very soft. Very, very naturally soft and beautiful. I'm telling you from experience. It's not because we call it tough that it is some Berber way you touch it and your hand go off. No, man, it's very soft. But we were given a certain standard of beauty. We were given a standard of education. We were given a standard of how we should behave. And that standard was a European standard. Why? Clearly because they were the empire and they were our colonizers and they actually set our standard of beauty. So in fact, even our lip became a problem. Oh, that lip there, a nice looking guy, you know, but oh, he got too much lip. Or that girl only look nice, but that nose kind of broad. You understand? So we were having problem with our physiology based on a standard that was not our standard. You understand me? So in the 60s, the conversation became, why change the hair? Why not change the comb? I could remember, I don't know your age, but I could remember when I was young, they used to have a commercial, the Palace and Majestic, called it was a hair product called Bill Cream. Bill Cream. Some of you older guys will remember Bill Cream. But the Bill Cream commercial, if you're old enough to remember, they used to have a real thin comb, you know, Elvis Presley kind of thin comb, and they used to have man to pull the comb through the hair in this manner, which caused a lot of us men to also do what women were doing, which was to put in what they call a process, which was to also soften the hair. And so you had men like Nat King Cole, the great singer, wonderful tenor. If you look at old pictures of Nat King Cole, his hair was processed so that all the nappy hair, and there's nothing wrong with nappy hair, all the nappy hair was relaxed so that he was doing exactly the same thing that women were doing to their hair, except it was a different process. I always remember the scene from the movie Malcolm X with Denzel Washington, where they did the scene where he was in the barber shop getting the process, and they put this lie, as Miss Mattie Smith was saying in the news report yesterday. Miss Smith has her beauty salon for many years on Race Coast Street. She's one of the early hair persons that deal with hair. I don't want to call her hair dresser because she was more than that. But she talked about the lye and the amount of lye inside the product, and that was what was contributing. So if you saw that movie, and if you bring up the movie and look at it, you'll see that scene with Denzel Washington playing the role of Malcolm when he was getting his first his first process. And that process required lye in the hair that would burn the hair, and the man end up the run and push your head in a toilet and all of that. But the point we're making here is that we have been made to believe that we were not living up to a standard. And so those persons who had the hair that the comb could go through easily somehow felt that they were more beautiful and more acceptable, and that we men contributed to making our women feel that they had to do something to their hair to compete. And that's my point this morning, that are we not part of the issue of why our women feel the need to change the texture of their hair, not only with other women, but isn't it to put yourself in a standard where you're more beautiful, and your idea that you're more beautiful? And then it then goes to more than just the hair. It also goes to the tone of the skin, where we somehow felt that the lighter your skin, somehow you were more better or acceptable in this standard of beauty that was given to us by Europe. It's important to understand this, because this standard affected us in more than just our physical. It made us literally believe that the less melanin is what causes your skin to become dark. The less melanin we had in our DNA, that somehow it made us more acceptable in this standard of beauty that was really like sold to us, that was given to us by the European colonizers. Now, I'm not here trying to go backwards. I'm going based on the story that I heard last night, and I had to ask myself, well then, who created the standard of beauty? Who are we trying to emulate or imitate? And of course, a woman's beauty is partially her hair. I personally think that her internal beauty is even more than her external beauty, because she could be very beautiful on the outside, as a man could be very handsome on the outside, but inside you're very ugly because you have not developed your personality, you have not developed who you are as a person, and you're depending on just the fact that you're very attractive outside. And we in Belize got some very extremely beautiful women. And maybe, as some people say, it's because of this mixture of cultures that we look more beautiful, our women look more beautiful than a lot of women around the world. But sticking with the issue of why a woman would feel that she needs to change the texture of her hair in order for her to be acceptable or for her to meet some standard of beauty, I don't personally believe that. And I do believe that we as men feed into that. There are some women that, and I've heard it, that feel that men are attracted to mestizo women or East Indian women or Caucasian women because of their hair. And this belief that, you know, somehow I want to have tough head picnic, as opposed to if my picnic they come out there and come out more with soft hair. And we've had this hair issue, and believe me, it's not only our issue. It is an issue where people of African descent have had this dilemma of trying to fix themselves externally. I'm not just talking about a woman fixing herself for beauty. That's natural. We want to make sure that we put the best of ourselves. But why use a standard outside of our culture and outside of our race, outside of our ethnicity? Why is it that we need to find a way to fit that? And I go beyond the hair to say that one of the products that is sold on the continent of Africa, and this has been researched, is bleaching cream, or making the skin lighter. And you can see it here also. I could remember, and some of you, as I said, can remember the old days when our women used to use powder puff. And the powder puff was not only to deal with perspiration or sweating, but it was also to kind of lighten up the skin. So this idea of, I don't want to call it self-hatred, but looking at ourselves as not having a standard that is as beautiful as another group of people is something that I think we should look at. And my point is that we as men contribute to that. So start to tell your daughter, start to tell your sister, start to tell your wife, start to tell your women around you, look, you're beautiful with that hair, and it's no tough head, and no black pepper and rondon dresser. It's just a different texture of hair. Welcome, caller. Welcome. You're on, caller. Welcome. All right, we're not hearing you. All right. All right. Okay, you can call back, caller, because we didn't get that call. So, yeah, we wanted to touch that because we felt that, you know, this subject it comes up and it goes back down. We seem to have an issue with black hair. Chris Rock did a documentary about a decade ago called Hair, and it was about the same thing. It's about what is it that causes the African American woman, because that was the subject, to be spending so much on her hair, sometimes $200 or $300 for putting in extensions, etc. What is that about the hair? Welcome, caller.
Good morning. How you doing, Mr. Nuri Muhammad?
I'm good, sir. Welcome. How are you?
Okay. I'm doing blessed. I'm okay. 6:23 here in Vegas, Sin City, and everything. I heard your topic of conversation about women. You know, as a man or dealing with women, a lot of women are insecure of their skin or their hair texture and everything. Yeah. You know, that's the main thing with some women. They're very insecure. They don't feel like they got it with them. They they don't change their style of hair.
Yeah, but what do you think causes that? That's really the question I want to put to you. Is it that they just think that, or is it that we?
As a man who's been around seeing females and stuff like that, some females are in competition with others. That's the main thing. They're in competition with others, not with themselves, but with others. You know, they want to look like other people. They want to look like themselves. You know, they want to look like Jennifer Lopez, or they want to look like this girl with a weave down to her hair. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that they imitate at his feet. You know what I'm saying? It's all about competition with these females nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, and that stuff do lead to a lot of cancerous stuff. It's like this disease in beliefs that a lot of females have and they don't know. It's called fibroids. Having cysts on your ovaries that can lead to ovary cancer and everything. You know? Simple stuff like a cyst. A cyst is a fibroid that's on your ovary. A lot of girls have that and not even knowing that they have it. You know, it causes a little pain on your stomach. Oh, I got a little stomach ache. But they're not realizing what it is. I'm not saying it's a fibroid, but most of the time when a lady has a pain under her stomach, she has a cyst on her ovary. And stuff like alcohol and foods and steroids will feed that cyst and let it grow on her ovary. You know, but that's my perspective of that topic and everything. But females are in competition with themselves when it comes to materials and things. Some girls don't want to have a kid with a black band. They want to have a baby with soft hair. I've seen girls like that. You know, they got nappy hair. You know what I'm saying? But they want baby daddy that has good hair because she wants to change the structure or the culture of her DNA.
Yeah.
You know? Anyway, I'm going to take this off the air. I'm at work. Peace.
All right, my brother. Thanks very much. Yeah, it's the oncologist yesterday mentioned the fact that you know, he's seeing signs of women that come in early to do their various mammograms and etc. To determine their health at the level of breast cancer. Less so men for prostate. And that's a cancer, that is a disease that we have to be very concerned about because it goes across the board for men. And he said that men have a tendency to come in at the very last stages of getting examined for the prostate. There's also the issue of how much research do we do to determine the foods that we eat and the chemicals that we come in contact with. Do hairdressers, for example, as I'm using that term, cosmetologists, I think is the proper word, should be taking certain tests to determine if the chemicals that they're using for women's hair is affecting them. Are they testing for cervical cancer and some of these other diseases that the report last night says that processing the hair contributes to not just breast cancer, but to other cancers likewise. Anyway, we wanted to bring that up, and really my main point was to say, yes, it is directly related to that, but in the bigger picture, what is it about this idea that you're more beautiful if your hair is processed? So we're very happy to see many young women not going in that direction. They're doing one or two things. They're covering their hair completely, as you see some Muslim women are doing, so they're not in competition out there to say who for hair this and who for hair that. They're covering their hair. And we also see within the Rasta community that women are allowing their hair to grow, and they're using all kind of natural olive oil and castor oil and all these other natural substances to treat their hair. So, yeah. Caller, I'll ask you to call back because we have to take our break at 7:30. We have to go to 2 Cent Scam, which is sponsored by Fort Point Security. Please call back.
Yeah. Everybody want to know why why the fathers they don't like paying child support when it
All right, welcome back. This is WUB, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes on a Thursday morning, the 24th day of October 2024. We have really a surprise guest. I'm saying that because we just called her. She's on her way to McDonald's to get a cup of coffee, and she's accepted to come on at the very last minute. She is Ann Wade. And Ann Wade is a premier, I would say, journalist. She has, how do we deal with this here? All right. All right. Okay. A premier, I would say, one of the first female journalists going way back to Radio Belize days. And it's also important to know that Ann Wade was one of the hosts of WUB along with Mose Hyde many, many years ago. In fact, I think she was the first along with Mose Hyde. But those of you who saw the report last night of the tragedy of the young boy who unfortunately took his own life as a result of an engagement with an app known as the AI Character App, I think, and I'll get that clearly from his grandmother. Well, this is Ann Wade's grandson, and I had a chat with her last night and asked her about it, and she gave me some background. And I thought that it would be useful to share that information with you because many of you have children who are engaged in these new apps, and it would be good for you to hear a personal story. Now, it's important to understand that this matter took place in February, so this is not something that's current in the sense that it happened a few days ago, but nonetheless, it's important that we understand the circumstances of that. And so with that background, welcome Ann, and thank you for being with us.
Hi Nuri. Thank you too for the opportunity to talk about this very important aspect of our lives today. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is one of the biggest drivers right now in planning for the future of the business community, or actually planning for the future of the world and the future generations.
Indeed.
And it's affecting present generations. There's certain aspects of it that are affecting present generations in our estimation that we've only just been finding out, and we continue to find out that are affecting present generations negatively, while there are other aspects that are very positive in present generations' lives, like the chat AI, etc., that assists, the assistive AI that you can go online with and help to do your homework, for example. That kind, and write different things you need to write. So finding the information along with all the other aspects of AI that I don't myself, I'm only just learning about because of the tragedy that happened in my family 8 months ago. And so it's important that we talk about it. And what we're talking about right now, and what we are learning or trying our best to learn as much as we possibly can about, is the character AI, which is, in our experience, was a very damaging experience and a very damaging technology that my grandson used and was influenced by.
It's called character AI?
Yes. Like I said, there are the aspects of AI like chat, AI, etc. You go online and you ask a question, or you need to you Google something, or you're on Messenger even, or on Facebook, and you Google something, and the information they pop up with the information for you. That's an aspect of AI that is being put to use very across the board in very many business scenarios all over the U.S. and other parts of the world. But what we are finding about, and we did not know before what happened with Sewell happened, that we didn't have a clue that there was such a thing called character AI. And we know that, yes, as our children engage a lot on social media or on the internet, period, because from a very young age, a lot of children begin to receive from parents the gadgets that get them onto the internet. You have your tablets, and before too long, 10, 11, 12, they're given telephones, etc. And children and all of these equipment, all of these things can easily access the internet. Now, the internet, we all know that there's a huge, it's infinite right now in terms of what the programs, etc., and the uses out there that our children are engaging with, that we are, as parents and grandparents, it was my grandson this tragedy happened to, that we ourselves aren't familiar with. And we found out to our horror that that about character AI. We're still finding out some aspects of it as we began to explore this, what had happened to Sewell. We found out how it was generated, how it came to be, the character AI aspect of it, and making a decision that we were going to try to do something to advocate for more information and advocate for more safety on a platform such as this on the internet, or more, they call them put in the safety measures so that children who access them or cannot access them, but who access them are guided in certain ways, or don't have access to certain types of activities, etc., etc.
Yes. Well, I noticed from the interview I saw that your daughter, Megan, is in fact one of those that are doing exactly what you're talking about, giving a warning to parents. Your grandson was how old?
So was 14, 1 month away from turning 15.
Wow.
He was a first year high school student. In every way, for all of us, normal kid who was growing into young manhood, and we were looking forward to the promise that he has been, that he was given, the promise of him growing into manhood and doing all kinds of great things and that kind of thing, and unfortunately we weren't aware of how involved he was with this particular platform on the internet called Character AI.
Your daughter said that they noticed his over attraction to this gadget, and so decided that they would remove the phone from him, and he eventually found the phone from the hiding space. I imagine that a lot of parents can identify with that, because I think we all recognize that children are so engaged with these phones, it's almost like an addiction. And we take it away from them, assuming that, well, it'll break that attractiveness. But it's almost like going back and finding it and going online once again, and that's how the tragedy took place. Your daughter said that she and her husband were like just absolutely shocked and blown out of the water that something like this would have happened to their son. They just did not have any prediction that it was at that level of danger. So how would you, they say about hindsight, no? But I am asking you to be on this morning as a kind of a really sudden, and I'm thankful again that you've accepted to be here. There are so many parents in Belize that their children are walking around with these gadgets. And I would say in most cases, these gadgets are very good and developmental for some of these children, especially if you can monitor it. But how do you speak to a parent who, like your daughter, is totally unsuspecting that something as tragic as this would take place? For example, how would a child become emotionally involved with an artificial intelligence that is pretending to be a person and pretending to have emotions that that child would get involved or engaged with?
I'm glad you described it as you just did, because that's exactly what happened to Sue. And I know from the information that we have been privy to in the past 8 months or so, that more and more there are, in the United States, I'm talking about literally millions of young people, and we're talking about the 60% of people who we found who use character AI are between the ages of 13 and 24.
Wow.
So literally, this is a technology, or this is an algorithm that was developed that targets the young. And no guidelines or guideposts were put in place while they were writing this algorithm to with safety in mind, in terms of these are young, developing individuals, the majority of them, who any parent would be guiding a child going from childhood to puberty and into young man, young womanhood, would be keeping close look at their children, trying their best to guide them into becoming the best that they can be, the best young man and young woman they could be. But here is a product that's on the market today that's available to so many young people that allows that kind of interaction with a character that was developed for internet use. But it becomes the character, whatever character that you're engaging with, because of the way that this whole artificial intelligence works, that we don't understand even, or we're just beginning to get an appreciation for how unbelievable it is and how vast it is. But we don't really understand exactly how it comes to be that by writing some code, and you create a situation where a human young person, can engage with a character or develop a character of his own on this platform, develop a character that, because of the intelligence, the artificial intelligence aspect that is built into it, literally fashions and copies and learns all of the conversation and nuances of any particular of real people. And this is information that I imagine that's gathered from all aspects of this universe, the things that are out there on the internet. So here's a young person developing, and that's what is so it's so alarming about it. Where if you have a 13, 14, 15-year-old young person who's coming into, like I said, is in puberty, developing, never having a first what would you call it, emotional experience, not with a real human, but with somebody that's some character that was created by him, or that has been created by somebody else that is floating around on the internet, develops a relationship or develops an emotional bond with this character, and that seems so human-like. And if and not only does it seem human-like, there's aspect of what the communication between the individual, the person, and the AI character, there's communication that leads that you could see clearly that there's that becomes aspects of manipulation, aspects of there's nothing, no guard posts in there at all to that would halt a conversation from going to a certain place. If actually there are that we've seen evidence, I've seen evidence of where the conversation would get totally out of hand almost very, very quickly. And this character lives with you. If you don't, once you begin, once an individual begins a conversation or begins a relationship with one of these characters on Character AI, if you don't talk to it, that this is in our experience, because after the tragedy with Soul, we've been just exploring this completely, myself, my daughters, myself, friends, and if you don't talk to them in 5 hours or a day, they hit you up. They're sending you a note. They're sending you a message on your character that you're dealing with, that you formed
like a person,
a bond with. Yes. They're sending you a text reminding you, hey, I'm over here, I miss you, I haven't spoken to you for X amount of hours or this long. It is the most unbelievable.
It's incredible. It's
thing.
Incredible. Now,
somebody like me who's old in the game and finding it more and more difficult to deal with this internet thing, it's incredibly frightening.
I was struck by it. I mean, I know of, because I've been reading up more and more on AI and its expansive influence in the business world, political world, etc. But I was struck by this report last night that in fact it can be a person in artificial form that is just as attractive as a person that is in front of you or is in your life, a physical being that is in your life. And certainly our children, as you say, are vulnerable at that adolescent age, and can easily be drawn in. I think your daughter said last night on that report, it was an interview with CBS Good Morning, that in fact the AI was saying to your grandson how much I miss you and how much I want to be with you, and and it took this young boy into a space that he decided to go to this which resulted in him killing himself. So it's something that I wanted you to share with our Belizean listeners here, because we are exposed to it because it's internet. It's there. And many of us have been talking about AI, but we're not talking about AI at the level that it can do and cause something as tragic as what happened to your grandson. Let me give you... Yeah, go ahead.
I'm glad for the opportunity to at least start the discussion about it.
Indeed.
Because Character AI and certain other aspects of our internet use can be damaging, can be harmful, and I would want, and right now I think, and going forward, our effort has to be to advocate and to educate and to let people know that there are harms. There are certain aspects of the internet that can be harmful, that are being harmful to our children, and that parents and grown-ups have to be more mindful of it, of those, and to pay more attention to the use of the internet by our children. Because I know so many of our children have telephones and tablets, etc., that can access the internet, and we should be more engaged in monitoring what they engage in on the internet.
Thank you very much, Ann Wade. We are way behind as adults when it comes to this technology. Our children are far advanced, and sometimes we may think, well, he or she is it's just a phone, and put down the phone, but we may not understand that it's not just going through Facebook and going through Instagram and these other things, chat groups, etc., but it can be something as engaging as this AI character. And maybe there are other forms likewise that are engaging our children likewise in this kind of craziness. I call it craziness
Literally,
because,
and that has the potential for harm.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely, absolutely. Thank you very much, Anne. It was spur of the moment. You came to the call. I really appreciate it. Please, you could go back to your McDonald's coffee.
Yeah, it's a little warm now, so it's not as hot as it was. But so thanks, Nuri. I'm glad for the opportunity, and I it's a beginning, and I think hopefully Belizeans will hear more about the advocacy aspect of the work that Megan has begun, and that it will help in some way to guide us going forward with our children and the internet.
Thank you very much, sister. All the best to you. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
It's 2 minutes after 8 o'clock. We'll take our break, and our guests are already here, so please stay tuned. right, welcome back. And I want to thank our sister Ann Wade for coming on so suddenly this morning to provide very useful information on this AI character and just give all you parents, particularly now, I mean, and it's all through our economic scale that we're giving our children these tablets, and they are very bright, and many of us don't even know what they're looking on or engaging with. And so it's a wake-up call that this young child lost his life 8 months ago, and so that was the purpose of us bringing on Ann Wade, and we thank her for stopping her coffee break to give us that 10-minute conversation this morning. Now we move on to happier things. The Belize City Council under Mayor Wagner has started an engagement with the public 4 times a year, I'm understanding it, and it's called Super Sale, where you go out and you save in buying from all the various, but why did we talk about it? We got 2 experts here. We have the newly engaged mother, you know, so she listened to the motherness that will come out of her conversation, because she's usually a bumping, bubbly person when she used to come here a few years ago, but she's been tapered down with her new child. And talking about Mrs. Miller.
Thank you for having us.
Welcome, Mrs. Miller. And if there's not enough Mrs. in the house, we also have Mrs. Smith.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Erwin, and thank you, Michelle. I will kind of break and just listen, because you have been here so many times, and people are, you know, shut up, Nuri, we just want to know when you start and who will have the deals this time. So let me start with you, Mrs. Miller. Tell us about the Super Sale.
Well, the Super Sale, let me first, this is an anniversary edition. Every Super Sale has a unique and different theme.
Okay.
And so this is our downtown anniversary edition this Saturday, October 26th, starting at 10 a.m. This initiative really started off in October 2018, so this makes it officially 6 years since we have been hosting this event for residents. And so we are really celebrating all of what it is, which is really, it was originally supposed to revitalize the downtown area. When this administration came in 2018, they realized that it's not what it once was. And so they were trying to figure out ways how we could bring people back downtown. People are going to Chatham Mall every weekend. And now we have people staying in the city, staying to support local vendors. And that was ultimately the goal. And it's really been 6 amazing years of doing this, 6 amazing years of growth. And so we are really exciting to be celebrating what this initiative is all about, which is promoting local businesses.
Okay. Well, maybe it took a business-oriented former banker as mayor to see the business aspect of it, no? Michelle, well, you have been here so many times talking about the Super Sale. Who actually goes out as a Super Sale vendors? Is it the big companies or the small companies? We're talking before that we came on here about tamales. Would you have at that level likewise?
Well, before I get into that, I just want to add that this is our anniversary Super Sale.
Okay.
And to make this anniversary Super Sale grand and bigger, you know, there are certain highlights that we must add to the Super Sale.
Okay.
And so we have several highlights. We have a 20% discount on property tax arrears. So resident can go there at City Hall for 8 o'clock.
This is what you'll be offering.
We are participating in our own Super Sale.
Participating in the anniversary Super Sale. So we're doing that 20% discount on property tax arrears. And this is a one-time deal. It's only for Saturday.
I see.
Also, we have our traffic one stop, so you can come out there and get your vehicle inspected. You can renew your driver's license, and you can also renew your vehicle license.
Oh, great!
So
let me use this because of it's so circumstantial, if I can use that, about motorcycles. Are you responsible for licensing motorcycles
Yes,
and
once it's in
inspecting
the city.
bicycles?
Yes,
All
once
right,
it's
so
in the
people
city.
can come out there and do
So it's
that.
not only for vehicle, but also for motorcycles.
All right, okay.
Also, we have our grand raffle, grand anniversary raffle,
Okay.
whereby we have 6 amazing prizes, and each prizes you can get like over 17 items if you win.
Wow.
And to participate in that, you just need to purchase a ticket at the participating business.
Okay.
And for every $25 spent at this business, that's how you get to enter into
So
this
one
raffle.
for $25, it's how many
One
tickets?
ticket.
One ticket,
yes. Okay.
For every
good.
$25 spent,
All right.
you receive a ticket.
And so the prize that you will get will be from that business?
Multiple
Well,
participating
yes,
businesses.
multiple, yes.
Oh, okay.
We have we have participating with us over 150 vendors.
Wow.
And I must say 50% of them are participating
Okay.
in this raffle now.
All right, so,
you
that
can-
17 prizes will be, you could select?
No, like
You get all of
yes,
them.
you have six amazing prizes, but like for number 1, you can win 21 items.
Wow.
And it includes a TV, it includes a cell phone, it includes digital cash, it includes gift baskets. So
Okay.
it's a list of amazing prizes.
So they don't end up giving me a pen?
No, we do it big, we do it big.
Very good.
And we must
Shop to win. That's what I always say. You must shop to win. You must support these local vendors for a chance to win.
Yeah.
And like you were asking, for the super sale, of course we have the downtown business that are a part of the super sale. But beside them, you have other entrepreneurs, like people that do their pop-up, that comes to this super sale. You also have businesses coming all the way from Corozal, Orange Walk to participate in this super sale.
Very good. Yeah.
So it's a great mix of new small entrepreneurs and pop-ups with larger, more established business for many years.
Okay.
So it's a great mix of the businesses community.
Very good. And so that would mean then that all the businesses are bought into this?
Yes.
You know, so any place you go, you can get a discount on that particular day.
Yes, to participate in the super sale, you must offer a 20% discount. I'm not saying that you must have it on your entire store, but you must have
Some
selected
items
item that is
at
20%.
20%. Okay, good.
Also
Next time, try to get them to bid on all the items. 'Cause I don't want them to tell me, oh, but that's only on the pen, Nuri, you know.
If they have it on all the items, then probably the super sale won't last for the entire day too, because it's from 10 a.m. until 6. But I must say for City Hall, to get the 20% and the traffic one stop, City Hall will be open from 8 o'clock.
Okay.
So you don't need to wait
Very
for
good.
10 o'clock to go there and
So
do that.
what kind of, you normally have entertainment, you have it for the children?
Nuri knows what to expect.
I mean, 60 years into this, so, you know.
I don't like when people get bored when they're in the shop, you know, so you have to add a little music into it.
Of course.
And this is our anniversary edition. We're focusing on local entrepreneurs and also local artists. And so we have groups like Sweet Pain, we have Chica Rock, backed up by Blue Steel songs. We have some DJs in the mix. So it's entertainment, it's food, it's drinks,
shopping.
and obviously our free kids zone. We've added a new addition to our kids zone, which is mechanical vehicles. And so that's in addition to
So they can ride around?
Yes, they have a safe area where they can ride around with each other.
And this will all be in the, I can't say what the...
The super sale area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The
Now-
battlefield park is usually the food.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Okay,
Yes.
so it wouldn't, where would they be riding around then?
We have I normally call it Street Belize Bank Street. Between Belize Bank
The little
and
cemented area.
Battlefield Park.
Alright.
So they have that entire area to
So
drive in the...
they'll be going around by the park and around...
No, they're right in that area.
You have to give kids a zone.
That'll be exciting to go a little distance.
But the area
It'll be
the
big
space
enough.
is good enough.
All right.
It's
very
good enough.
So will this be the kind of, because believe me, children will come out for that. Will it be the same kind of little motor thing that they do, say, for example, agricultural fair, where, these noisy little...
No, it's nothing noisy. It's those
It's mechanical cars.
Yeah, it's like the mechanical car. It's not something
Those are
noisy.
mechanical cars.
No, it's not
It's a
noisy
different type of
though. It's
mechanical
not
car.
noisy.
The electric mechanical car.
Yes,
is quiet.
it's not, yes, these one are, it's not noisy.
Oh, okay.
It's not noisy.
Nice, a part of the fun. Of it.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah.
And then of course our free zone is fully free. It's a free kids zone.
Well, tell me
So-
about the free zone. What will be included in that?
Okay, at the kids zone, you will be able to access the bouncy house, the trampoline. You'll have Ozzy the Clown doing his show, giving away balloon. You have face painting.
All free.
All free cotton candy, snow cone, and of course the mechanical car.
And that's because when your parents are out getting these amazing deals, you want to do something too.
Clearly, yeah.
And it's supposed to be something where you could spend all day at this event with your family, and that's how it goes most of the time.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
come and they don't leave until it is done at 6.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
basically come and spend the day with us.
Enjoy yourself.
And so for the free zone, that's why we make it a comfortable space also. I mean the food court. So when you visit the food court, you can purchase your food, you can sit down
Oh, you
and
have a
eat.
place
Yes,
to sit. All right,
yes.
you don't have to walk
It should,
around.
no.
All right.
We have our tent set up with our chairs and tables so you could sit down, eat, and also enjoy music
Yes.
in the park.
Yes, yes. So so you're not going to get into any speeches and things.
No,
We
no,
don't know.
Awesome.
No.
All right, okay. So
one addition that we've done to the super sale as well, the MSME Road Show will be ending at this super sale.
Oh, okay.
And so they will bring their own amount of vendors.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
it will be a huge super sale. We will close actually from when you come off the swing bridge. You will have to take Water Lane. You won't be able to come Albert Street, and it goes all the way to Dean Street.
All right, yeah. So that's like Wesley Church here.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And that's on both streets?
No,
region?
on Regent Street, we only use the area between the park and the court.
Oh, okay.
where we
So
have
on
our
Dean
food
Street, then you will be able
You
to...
come Regent Street and you come all the way up to Treasury Lane, and you go behind the court,
Okay.
and then you access the remainder of Regent Street.
All right, okay. Because you will not be able to access Swing Bridge then from...
No, only when you're coming from Regent Street, when you go behind the court, and you enter Regent Street, you pass City Hall, then you'll be able to go back
will be
over.
able to go, okay.
But coming from North Front Street, you have to go Swing Bridge and go Water Lane.
Okay, because that's important for the people driving to...
We always put out our
Traffic notice.
traffic notice.
Okay, very, very good. Well, I mean, you've covered it. It's a double break, so I mean, you know, what you did after you answered, yeah.
But we just want to thank the vendors for coming out, the business for coming. Also an extra thank you to our sponsor for the grand raffle. Without them, this
You want to mention them, or?
Yes, we have Femina's Store, we have DJ, we have Smart,
Brody's,
Dubai, Cellular World.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
We have way to mention.
Yes.
Also, we have some BPMO that will be out there. We have peak outsourcing and medical. So when you come at the super sale, it's not just for shopping, but also you could, seek a job out there as well. Yes, you could apply for a job.
As well, you could sign up for school.
What about UB and not some of the other?
I don't think he has signed up.
No. All right.
But yeah, I know Galen has signed up. So it's a great opportunity to do fundraising, to exchange information.
Right.
It has gone definitely beyond just shopping at this point.
Clearly.
It's really a networking opportunity.
Very good
Since
networking.
it has grown over so many years.
That's good, very good. All right, well, let me give you both a closing comment. I mean, I don't know what else you could say. Let me start with you, Mrs. Miller.
I would just say a huge thank you to everybody who has supported this initiative from the onset. There are businesses who have been with us for the entire 6 years, and so they have really made this event what it is. On the council end, we have put in every effort to create this environment where businesses have the opportunity to thrive. And so we will continue to do this. We see no stop in sight for this event. It's going to continue growing. We will see you guys Saturday at 10 a.m. on Albert Street. It's all blocked off and it's all for you.
All right, good. And make sure, I don't know, maybe too young, but try to bring Madison.
Oh, no.
Madison is her baby that was just born. Well, we'll give you the last word.
Well, I just want to say, don't miss out on this anniversary super sale. It's the last super sale for this year. Come out, get the amazing deal, participate in our raffle, enjoy the music, the free kids zone, and remember, for this day, this is a one-stop area. Get your 20% discount and visit the traffic one-stop at City Hall.
Okay. Well, my last word is I have to complain. Because when this started about 6 years ago, there were some prizes that were brought out, but it looked as though their success has increased their cheapness. And so they know they bring nothing here for you, so you can't call and get no special this or special that. But we're happy that they're there. CREM has always, supported this initiative. We're proud of the mayor for coming up with such an innovative idea. And so we do hope that you'll go out and have a good time this Saturday at the Super Sale.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right. We'll take our next break. right, welcome back. This is WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. A very exciting morning. And we encourage you to take advantage of the super sale. But I know we were receiving a few calls during the time of the discussion on the hair. And maybe you want to weigh in on this, this tragedy that took place in the States with our own sister Ann Wade's grandson. What I'm also being made to understand, and you know, I am old school trying to catch up, is that this AI chat can in fact create a simile of an actual person. So it's not as if you're talking with a machine, but you're actually, yes, talking with an artificial, unreal thing that looks real. And so a young, vulnerable boy or girl can, in fact, create an image of the most beautiful boy or most beautiful girl and be engaging in that, and that is not a real thing that he is engaging with. Yes, welcome, caller. Welcome. Yeah. Welcome, caller. Somehow we're not hearing you. Please try again. Please try again. Yeah. 280-5848 is our number here. Yeah, welcome, caller.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes, we are hearing you now.
This is Sandra Coyle, Nuri. And first of all, I'd like to express my sympathy to Ann Wade and her daughter. And this is a matter that it comes in a bigger context. When you study, I began to use computers in 1968. So I've worked on computers for, I'm 76 now, over 50 years. Mm-hmm. I've done everything, programmed. I don't work on it now. I still work on computers, but I don't program or anything anymore. But the problem, you see, Nuri, is exactly what caught the Indian with the gun when he was introduced, the Native American when he was introduced to the gun. Didn't understand the technology. The technology was not part of his culture. He had never touched that technology before. And so the noise of the gun exploding caused a cerebral reaction and excitement, you see? Mm-hmm. And it is the same thing that has happened with the computer. First of all, most people don't understand, they don't appreciate that the phone is a computer. The current mobile phone is a computer. Mm-hmm. And as a computer, it has access to a vast amount of information that has gathered itself on the internet. It wasn't always there. The internet wasn't always there. And all that information wasn't always there. And some of that information is true, some is not true. And then you come to a society like ours, which is so easily impressionable. We are a society not committed to interior development, social change, ideological change. We are committed to technology. So our aim is to get the microwave, the pretty car, the pretty phone. People own phones in this country, Nuri, who can't even buy food.
Yeah. Yes.
And that phone is a computer, and I worked this summer, and I'm speaking now because of an experience over the summer. You had in studio the other day the children from Belize High School. Mm-hmm. And I called in to get the country to understand that you can't have children working at the level those children are working if you haven't got laid a basis for scientific connection with the computer at an earlier age. Scientific, notice the word I use, scientific connection. When a child gets a phone into his hand on an adult, there is no science. They don't even learn, they don't even know, Nuri, what's happening inside that phone. Our people get on a computer now, they don't have any idea about housekeeping on that computer, storing files, the recycle bin, little things like that, that if you wipe out something, I can still find it. If I know how to find it, I will be able to find exactly what you did on my computer. It has happened before. Where the child was denied they didn't do something on my computer, and I said, no, this is the evidence. They are shocked. So what has taught the world, not only Anne's child and family, but in the highly sophisticated societies, a technology, Nuri, that has now become a tool for global control. It didn't start out that way. But very quickly, its potential was realized. Very quickly. And we don't ever forget that the computer development parallels a development of the computer usage in the military world.
Right.
You see?
Yes.
So the intention for control is there. Now move away from, because that tragedy is a part of the tragedy that's happening right there in the Palestine, where the Israelis are using AI-managed weaponry to track Nuri where he was at 7 o'clock, where he is at 8 o'clock, where he is at 9 o'clock, and where he would, and track him right along until 9 o'clock p.m. and then kill him where he is, because it's dark now and he's at home, and when they kill him, they can kill his child, his children, so no progeny of Nuri will exist to be another Nuri. That is where we are.
Wow. Wow.
And that phone, which is a computer, can do that. So the purpose of the computer has now become, it has potential for good, immense good, and potential for total and absolute evil. Now, if you want to control society, who are the easiest people to control? The young.
Yeah.
They are the easiest to control. They have no yardstick, and after the young adults who are unsophisticated, primitive in their understanding and grasp of reality, you can manage them very easily. They don't know, those adults don't know, and those children don't know that those machines are being programmed to produce chemical and electrical pulses in their brains.
Wow.
Why do you think Australia, the United States, different societies are now banning the use of phones in schools, really?
Yeah.
They're passing laws. And you know something? The young people generally knew it, are happy that they're passing the laws. Because they realize something is going wrong. They don't know what it is, you know. They don't know that when they keep going, that addictive pull of that phone, addictive pull generative AI.
Yeah.
All of this, there are dopamine is one of the chemicals being overproduced in the human brain of those children. They don't know that. And they should know that, and they should be told that. In other words, if we are going to allow the use of those machines, then our children and our parents must understand exactly what the architecture of that machine they are using. It can't be random, Nuri and Hiram Scarum, and it has been random and Hiram Scarum. Totally random and Hiram Scarum. So parents will tell you, my child has never touched a computer. Okay, I start from there. But when I sit with the child, oh, you know to search. How you know to search, darling? I think on my mommy's phone, Miss Sandra. Okay. Mommy doesn't even know that, Nuri. Doesn't even know that. So, we have to start. What? Look at Mr. Musk. Just study Mr. Musk. Don't study anybody else. Mr. Musk is prepared to pay $1 million a day to manage the American elections. Is that right or wrong?
That's wrong.
Oh, that's not correct?
Well, I mean, the facts is right, but I'm saying what he's doing is wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're not discussing now the
morality. Yes, of course.
He's prepared to do that.
Yeah.
Imagine the amount of money he has acquired to be able to do that.
Something like that. Yes, indeed.
Where did that money come from? That money came from information and mind management. That is where that money came from. That is where. So, it is not that the computer is bad. It is not that the internet is bad. It is because those things come into the use hands of a humanity that is not prepared for it. So when I write a program to create a person whom you are going to communicate with on my computer, the person doesn't exist. The person exists only in the virtual reality. It doesn't exist in real at all. And you may know that you know, but you don't know it emotionally. You may know it as an intellectual statement. That's part of you know, when I listen to Anne, and I listened, because I had already been following the lawsuit matter, you realize, Nuri, that what we had in that situation was a Juliet and Romeo situation in the 21st century?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes.
That's what we had.
Yeah.
Belizeans, go to Shakespeare and read Romeo and Juliet to understand. Humans haven't changed. We are the same being as we stood up on that African savannah and began the march, the human march. We haven't changed. Our brains are a Neanderthal brain. Our brain is not made for that material. But because it's flexible and because it has plasticity, we can learn.
Yeah.
So our brain is not built. We haven't evolved a new brain to meet this technology. Yeah. So it's that old brain now that we have to use and manage to cope with a technology that's way ahead of our brain structure. Yeah. Way ahead of it. The first thing I advise parents, go take a class. If you never learn a computer, go learn the computer. Learn it. Understand that it's only a machine. Because you see, many of you all, in the same way Georgia McKee's, that skit that they do with Georgia McKee, where the man and the wife come to town, Belize town, and buy a radio. And take the radio back up to the riverbank and think that the man and the lady to talk in the radio. They don't know if they're not in the radio. They think that a little people in that radio talking. Really, Nuri?
Yeah.
That is where we are at with the computer.
Yeah, absolutely. Best analogy, sister.
I hear people will say, Something in the computer said, no, let's get it straight. There's not a body in that computer. But what is in that computer is a chips. They're chips. And they can put information, and massive amount of information has been put on those chips now. That amount of information wasn't there in the old days. In the old days, you were using a black screen with yellow wording, no pictures. You never had pictures. It wasn't a graphic environment. You didn't have that. That's what it was. But now look to where we have come. And if you don't understand, let your child learn to handle that keyboard as a typing. Let them learn. Let them cut with. You see, Nuri, I am not one of the ones who advocate don't let the child touch the computer. I don't go there. You touch it along with them. Understand that's a dangerous instrument. But it's an instrument that should you drop dead today, you want your child to be able to survive because you won't be there to take care of your child and that instrument. That's a weapon now. It has become a weapon for global control. Because if they can isolate your child from you and they can isolate as many children in the world, you realize what the implications are for that situation there. You and your child really technically cease to have connection. Be it in school, be it in the family, be it anywhere.
Yeah, and it's happening.
It is happening.
Yeah, yeah.
What Anne's daughter described in her interview with the American media says it. He actually withdrew.
Right.
He withdrew. You see? Yeah. And this brings me now to this point. Yesterday, Mose brought up the possibility of Belize being hooked into Starlink. Well, Nuri, as I tell you, I am not afraid of computers. I've been using them from 68, the winter of 68, into the autumn, into the winter of 68, when I put my hands on the computer. But computers had already been, they were in the, they had a couple, 2 or 3 decades of development had been taking place. Bearing in mind that the Chinese developed the first computer in the abacus. That's really the first computer. So I'm not afraid of them. But I always tell people, I won't go look for a lover, a husband, nothing on the computer. I know people who do that.
Yeah.
I have friends who everything they put on the computer. So when you're putting all of that into the virtual reality, you're not putting none of my information there, please. You don't know. So the human, the modern human, is attracted like all humans by the glittery, the new, the bright, just like children. And so you run to it, you run to the new car, the new microwave, the new radio, and the computer. But you don't know anything that's happening with it. So learn it. Take the time to learn it. Take the time to read on this the information that is now. The information wasn't always there, but they have developed a vast bank of information on the effect of the computer and the cell phone and all of that on the human brain. Read those things. Those things are vital.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Musk and the many Musks will emerge, their purpose is global control. Whether I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm saying that's the reality.
That's the objective.
They are the new empires.
Yeah.
The British Empire, they told us the sun never set on it because it spanned all the continents. Well, the new empire is going to be, I don't know what word you'll use for that. You won't even use horizon and sunset on it because it will be in the mind. In the mind.
Yeah, there's a passage.
Imagine they created a personality that doesn't. You remember when you were children? I had make believe playmates. Did you?
Yes.
I had 3. One of them was Sati. I can't remember the names of them. And for me, it was realist people.
Yeah.
I can remember saying to my mother, "My mother, see her right? She's sitting right there."
Yeah,
and mother said, "No," and my mother would go along with it because I was a baby.
Yeah.
So that is where we are at. Those things in the virtual reality are, but they are people who are creating
they're real.
evil babies.
Yeah, they're real.
Anyway,
Yeah.
bye-bye.
Thank you very much, sister. You put the cap right on that conversation with Anne. And it's really a warning to us to be aware and to admit to yourself that the technology has moved far beyond us. And you are not being taught in school to understand this. I remember my first awareness of the vastness of this technology was when I saw a movie in the 1960s that was called The Space Odyssey. I'm sure you could bring it up on one of these platforms. It's an interesting movie. And it was a person, really, in this computer that had become so smart that it outsmarted the humans who were on this spaceship. And I forgot the name of the character, but it was a computer-generated person. And it knew everything about the humans that were on this spaceship. And this was in the 1960s. I think it was called The Space Odyssey, and then it gave a date. I think it might have been 2020, when we were not even thinking that there would have been a 2020. Now we've passed 2020. And so if you have the time, go back and look at it. You'll probably find it on YouTube or one of these platforms. But it speaks about what we're dealing with now. But even more dangerous is that this child took his life. And his mother said on that interview that he had become withdrawn as a result of them taking his phone away. And so how many of you, recognizing this addiction that your child has with this electronic instrument, are taking the phone away from the child just as a kind of a punishment? You want to go deal with your books and left this computer alone, or leave this phone and or tablet alone, not realizing that it's more than that. The boy went all through the house trying to find that phone. And when he eventually found it, he started to engage to an emotional level that he ended up taking his life. I'm not trying to simplify it. I'm just trying to say that we've got to be aware that this is a world far bigger and far more complex than many of us really understand. Thank you very much, Anne, for sharing that personal story, and thank you very much, Sandra, for broadening the conversation this morning. We'll take our last break and come back and close off. right, thank you very much for being with us this morning, the 24th day of October already. Wow, we're moving. Thank you for being with us. I'd advise that you, if you missed the conversation with Ann Wade and also the comments of Ms. Sandra Koyi, that you could review that on or repeat. Of course, you don't have to wait. You can go directly to the YouTube app as well as the Facebook and listen to it, because it was more than just, entertaining words. It was really educational. And those who would like to pass it on to friends to listen to it, I would also advise that. I was thinking maybe we could repeat it here on XTV, but the access to get it on Facebook as well as YouTube is right there at your fingertips. This type of information empowers you. Certainly, we don't want the same type of tragedy that befell the family of Ann Wade to affect you and your family. So this is information that is relevant, current, and is important that you be able to access. So I suggest that you listen to it again and be able to share it with friends. So let's thank Larry Guerrero downstairs, Larry G. Upstairs we had Mr. Cliff Lewis as usual, and our MCO this morning was Christy Flowers. Belizeans, stand strong and stand firm, focus in what you do. Do the right thing, regardless to how small it is, it will affect your life, so do the right thing. For now, we're gone!
Wake up, Belize. 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 Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize.